Hello team, hello everyone, welcome back. Day 4, which was actually supposed to be day 5 today, but I missed yesterday's session. Sincere apologies for it. And my team assumed that it was a technical glitch at my end. It was not at all a technical glitch. It was just absolutely a human glitch. The human behind me kind of gave up and said, I need to sleep. And I've not been getting more than 3-4 hours sleep every day because there's a lot of activity. It's not that I'm over stressing or overburdening myself, just the fact that I'm enjoying what I do and I feel responsible. I own it and it's driving me. So nothing is preventing me for going and taking care of myself except the fact that this is extremely passionate for me what I'm doing. You wouldn't believe, team, for me, more than the revenue that I will get, it is the participation of the members that gives me as a trainer a bigger motivation in life. And to see hundreds of people joining me every day, very diligently listening and learning from what we do, and the few feedbacks that I get that Karthik, you are helping us, is really helping me. That's the biggest motivation ever. Nothing can help me more than that. All right, so let's get going, team. Day 4, some amazing stuff to catch up with. From today, it's gonna become a little bit more advanced, and it's not gonna be any more simple, small things to learn. So you need to be there along with me. And by the time we get into day 6 and so on, you will realize why are we doing all this learning before we do the AACT free certified testers free training. What is AACT will become very clear. All right. So most of this we've covered, team. I don't think from the initial topics we've kind of left anything. Maybe test plan I did not kind of finish it totally, but that is something we will try and do either here or as we get to the live project. Use cases also not really, but then there are a few things that I'll discuss when I talk about AACT app. At that time you'll get a good idea. So we've finished with these stuffs as no defects we didn't yet. Regression UI testing, some brief idea, yes. More robust Excel template stored test cases, yes. ERA, yes. So we've kind of got till here. And like I told you that HP UFT, I will do it, but maybe not today. We can start with more of understanding defects. This one. Let's see. So we'll do this. And we can do Selenium Ide. Some of this also we could do. And if time permits, which I don't think, we can get into automation frameworks, or it's going to be on day 5. Okay. So once we do all of this, team, everything will become easy for us relatively. So team, now let me talk about this. One of the first things that we have to get is to the defects and defect life cycle. But before I do that, a lot of you have been asking about InterAFT.com, correct? Now, I have not been giving clear instructions to you all that InterAFT.com is still not ready. It's still being tested and we're having some issues with the latest release. Yes. So how is it that you're all writing back to learn at itlearn.com? I'm facing this issue. I'm not able to register. I'm unable to download the iOS app. Everyone who's getting frustrated that I'm unable to do something, you're all writing it back to learn at itlearn.com. Yes or no? Because the team has got hundreds of emails and they've been very patiently trying to respond to one after the other. And I told my team, stop it. Do not respond. Tell them one thing. Karthik will talk to you. I communicated, you still been writing and they're trying to patiently do it. It's a lot of manual hard work for you, for the team, for me, everyone, all the stakeholders for this application. Yes or no, team? Right? A lot of frustration, right? So there should be some kind of a method to this madness. Should there be a method or not? Why do I hear yes only from 5-6 people? Others don't agree, or you are unable to hear me, or you're not participating? So team, when I ask a question, type it. When you say something or when you type something, you're committing to it. Yes, I agree. Yes, I don't agree. Both are fine. But if you don't say anything and you be a pure listener, then even from your certification side, right? When you're trying to get certified, these marks will count, team. And I haven't done that. That's another thing that I need to work on. 5 is the certification uh, methodology scorecard. I have it everything in my head. I just need to put that method to that madness as well out here. All right. So you are having issues. You are the end user of InterAFT, correct? What are you doing right now? You're emailing to the team and they're trying to consolidate all issues. But before that, they're responding to each email saying what will work with the development team. Then they're trying to consolidate all issues and pass to the development team. So, number one, user has issue, contacts support, support consolidates, then shares to dev. Now you tell me, team, what is the issue that the development team will face? This is what I planned for. I knew why I wanted to use InterAFT for this session, team. And team, please believe in me. I'm not at all getting mad. It's just my passion and my real, it's just my passion talking, team, nothing else. Alright, Shilpi, not at all getting mad about anything. You'll understand why I'm talking all this. It'll come to it. So you tell an issue, support will kind of put it into some summary, shares it to the dev, and then dev team says, what are the most common feedbacks do you think dev will say, team? What will dev say? They need to first understand the issue. They need to reproduce the issue. They need to check for validity of the functionality / require feature / requirement. They need to do that, right? Then they need to start fixing it. Then they need to retest at their end and finally pass it along to testing to QA team. Correct? So there's a lot of steps where anything can break. How can we do this better? How can we do it in a more organized manner? And in our Excel file that we created is us. Okay, there you go. There's one 734, 728, what we did, right? In the previous session. And also severity, yes, exactly. Like it will not run. This is most important. Check for validity, severity, like, big defect, small defect, important to be fixed in order of priority and fixing it. So they need to prioritize. I hope my spelling is correct here. I like, Notepad because it's a good test for me. If I put it into Google, Word, any word, it'll tell me, but what's the correct spelling of prioritizing? I'm somehow very confident I spelled it. Prioritize. Prioritize. I think it's correct, right? Okay. So if you think it's incorrect, and if you note any spell error that I do, team, in this documentation, you should tell me. I'm practicing to improve myself each and every day. You won't believe how hard I work towards this. I do it. It's a very, very honest approach for me. So how can we do this better? Okay, so we have this test case. Okay, few things are there. So now we've only done 3 test cases, correct? One for, what was this test case name? Oh, see, luckily we wrote the test case name and I can see and believe what we did. Invite trainees by admin, okay. Forgot password for any user, forgot password for invalid user. Now, you know, one of the biggest things that's happening, team, if someone goes into this application, okay, this I need to show you. I need to talk about this as well. Oh, there's so much I need to share with you all, team. A lot of stuff. Talk about this. I need to talk about casa.com. So some are topic related, some are more motivational. So we'll cover those. InterAFT.com/app. So tell me, team, if this is correct or not. And please do not do it at your end. If I click on forgot password and I say learn at itelearn.com and I click on recover password, what should it do? Just answer that, team. What is it supposed to do? Send an email. Correct. About what? It should check for valid email ID. Correct. Send email with instructions. Send email. See, again, we're being too generic. What should it send an email? To reset password. Okay. Send an email with the new password or send an email with a link where have you tried to recently change your password? If yes, then click this. If not, please ignore. Right? Now this is actually sending an email. It's changing the password. What is wrong with it? And it is also in that email, it's putting the new password. What is wrong with it, team? Temporary password will expire in 24 hours. If it changes the, okay, my question is this again. Listen carefully, please. If I click on this button, it sends an email with the new changed password to my email account, whatever I put about this. What is the issue or problem with that? Team, stay with the conversation. Listen to every word that I say very keenly, deeply. Exactly. Thank you so much, Adil. It's a misuse of email. Anyone, yes, Clement, anyone can change my password. Not that they can log in. Reena, yes, they can absolutely change it. There is a big issue. All they need is my password, email address, and anyone can change it. Will they get access to it? No. But they can disrupt it, right? They can spoil it. So is this an issue or not? How big is it an issue? If everyone can see my password, that's the biggest issue that we can ever find in the whole world. And companies like Google and Facebook and WhatsApp, which are trying to pay people, thousands of dollars to find defects, we will become millionaires with it. If that was big an app, right? So that's the severity of an issue. This is absolutely, and this is in typical sense, a general assumption that we make when we give requirements of recover password, because it's become standard these days. We don't really need to motivate. But then this is an issue, and you saw you can't download, sorry, one second. You can't download the app or other things. Is that a severe issue? At least medium size. You can't access. User is unable to access. So you need to prioritize them and get them fixed. So how do we put them? How can we do this better? How do we do it, team? How can we do it? Give me some ideas. See, it's a very interactive session. You are the ones who are doing it. All the answers that we need is there with you. We're just putting a structure to it. And how this will all become very important is very critical. So team, I'm not talking about one issue, one challenge, the dozens of issues that you're recognizing. How do we as a team come together and do it? Prioritize the issues, defect tracking, security testing. We can make particular questions and answers, security code, not one issue, team. There are dozens of issues like this. How about we document it? First thing. First is document it, right? What is document? Write it somewhere. And here I'm going to say defect and maybe description, right? I'll say forgot password. And I'll say description is user can enter anyone's email address and change the password. Yes or no? Is this enough for developers to understand? Is this enough for developers to understand? I'm glad I'm getting a few yeses also and some I guess. We need to give something more, right? What else can we give? Exact reproduction steps, right? You want to give the steps for it. If I give the steps to it, it's long, right? Steps to reproduce. Okay, you want severity also. Fair enough. We'll put that too. This is high. And status. What is the status, team? I'll say it is identified / fixed. Right? Only two statuses. Either it's identified or fixed. If you know of more, just wait for me. Theory versus practical. We're trying to arrive this in a very human way. The way I see it, only two statuses, identified or fixed. Then what else? Any other information that I can give? Yes, we still know that this is weak. We need the reproduction steps. Absolutely yes. 1 second, team. Okay. Okay, you want picture also, or it's part of reproduction steps. I'll put it here. How do I put a reproduction? All right, I need that also. If I don't do that, and visualize this with InterAFT team, visualize it. When you visualize something, when you feel the pain, and when you're actually doing it, you will know how we can improve on this. There's nothing called snapshot. There's a screenshot. I'm not taking the names of the individuals, but I'm just trying to tell you, team. All right. Priority, severity, I put. What else do we need? Hey, who sent me this defect? Who sent me this defect? Tester. Oh, wow. I have 200 people plus 220 in this session. Friday evenings are usually very slow in US, so I understand. But we need a name, right? We need the tester's name. Who reported this? This one I am reporting, not you. I told this. I don't know if you told or not. I was the first to report. I am taking the credit for it. Did anyone else report this defect earlier? Anyone else reported? No, is it? Not even one? I thought someone will come back and argue, yes, I did. How can you take the credit, Karthik? I will take the credit because I'm doing it the correct way. Very simple. I am following the process. All right. Now, look at the whole issue. How do we write the reproduction steps, team? What are the reproduction steps? We'll come to a lot of other things will come as columns. We'll come to it. Test steps. Okay. What are they? 1. Open website. 2. Click on forgot password. 3 is enter any user's email address. 4 is new password is generated and sent to the super admin. Super admin, or no, actually to the sent to the user. Sorry, sent to the user. Super admin will never have access to the all the passwords. Okay. And then 5th, what is the issue here? User must have an option to change it at their end, not automatically generate new password. Else anyone can change, not get access though to others user account. Right? Wow, this is long. How will I write all this? Did we plan to test this and then we found it, or was it a discovery? It is a discovery, team. No one planned it. So let me first save this before I lose this. What should we name it, team? Can I call it just defects? That's fine. Or defect track. I think I named it as defects. Bugs, defects, errors, and there will be theoretical question as to what are bugs, what are defects, what are errors. How do you differentiate them? Theory. All right, but we'll come to it more practically as we go along. Oops, don't tell me. Did I? Okay, there you go. That's good. So some way I should have something more standard. I should have a test case ID like this, and a defect is there. How do I link the test case to a defect? So critical, team, and believe on this, you will not find this specific concept explained in a more dramatic manner than I will do. Because you can randomly find defects. That's called random testing. Sometimes also called as smoke testing. You know what is smoke testing, team? How many of you know what is smoke testing? I'm ready to unmute anyone who says I will answer and you tell me once. Who wants to get unmuted and tell me what is smoke testing? In the chat? Okay, Naga, I will tell. Great. I love that spirit, guys. I just love it. This is great audience. And just the spirit that we're carrying is amazing. So let me find Naga in this group. Oof. NAGA. Naga. Anudeep also said yes. But before that, Naga. Yeah, there you go. Unmute. Hi Naga. I have you unmuted.
Hi, Karthik.
Hello.
Hi, Karthik. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, the smoke testing is to make sure the application is stable and there are no broken links and there is no page not found errors and there are no cosmetic errors so to make sure everything is overall high level, it's okay. The application is okay.
Okay. So that is that not functional testing?
Yes, it's a functional testing.
But then why is it different? Why these two words?
Yeah, functional means like to make sure the functionality of the in-depth, for example, if I take a login functionality from check-in to checkout, to make sure the all the in details, that is functionality testing.
Yes.
But the smoke testing is high level, the application is just ready to it's to make sure it's basically stable. That's what I understood.
Perfect. Okay. Good job. Good at. Thank you, Naga. So that's right, team. So Naga, what she said is correct. It is functional testing, but making sure the main functionalities are working. So, but again, it's not come out clearly, right? What is it? Where do I see other answers? So many chat messages. Oh goodness. Smoke test random testing, which is done before actual test. Smoke test is build verification testing. Yes, Jeneline, let me try yours now. I'll take one or two more of you and then go on. It's nice to hear voices sometimes. Yes, Jeneline, I've got you unmuted. Can you try and speak up? Jeneline Oitis. Could you try and speak please once? Itisha Jain. I'm gonna unmute you. Give it a try for me.
Hello, can you hear me, Karthik?
Yes, Itisha, right?
Yeah.
All right, go on, please. Thank you.
So whenever we have a new build, we do a quick testing of all the links that they are working there, the major functionalities that are there, we see that they are working.
All right.
And it is just to like decide that the build that we have received from the developer is stable. So for further testing that we have to do, the functional testing that we will start. So we just check that the build is stable.
Okay, so why is the word smoke there in that? Why is it called?
Smoke is like just to initially when you start something, the smoke comes out, so you are just starting your testing.
You're getting close. You're getting close. See, it's very easy to answer these questions with an actual scenario. And I'll tell you this, and you'll never ever forget in your life, all of you, what is smoke testing after this. All right. And this is not something that came to me by birth. I've learned somewhere as well. And I'm trying to put it into a right fashion. Okay, so I've got so many other things. Thank you, Ishita.
Thank you.
I'll take Mohammad Rahman, you next. MD. Okay. All right. Last one and then we'll go. Mohammed? Not yet. Why can't I unmute you? Sorry, Mohammed, I'm not able to unmute you for some reason. One more and then I'll go. Okay, Ram Prasad. Let me answer. Let me give you that. See, team, lot of your answers are coming out still uh, as very, how do we say that, theoretical answers. Ram Prasad, well, I'm trying to find your name here. I can't see your name. Sorry, Ramprasad. For some reason. That's interesting. Tulasi. Sorry. So team, again, it could be very little learning that we're doing, but you'll understand the method more than anything else. Tulasi. Yeah. Yeah, Nabatini. Okay, Tulasi, have you unmuted?
Hi, Karthik. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, the critical, the smoke testing is when you test the beginning of the functionality before it is accepted for major testing.
Correct. Exactly. So we try
That
and
is called.
make sure that the application very quickly look at the main functionality, see if this is working, that is working, and ensure that I think it is fine enough. At least the main things are working. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
But why is it called smoke? What is the word smoke? The significance in that?
Because when you're, for example, when you're starting the cooking, like you need a smoke, right? So,
But that is necessary. In this, you don't want it. Thank
yeah.
you. But that's a good example. You're thinking now. People will ask you, what's the concept behind it? All right. I'll tell you, team. This is what I learned. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it makes sense. Okay. The smoke test. Actually, when did QA, quality assurance, start? Is QA an IT thing? Quality assurance? Is QA a software thing? Yes, right? QA is software related, right? So testing, quality assurance, it's only for software, right? But the industries and technology came later. The manufacturing of things came very early. And then came quality control, quality checks, quality assurance. What is quality assurance saying? Quality assurance is saying, and this is not IT thing only, team. It's got nothing to do with IT. IT embraced it later. I am assuring the quality of this product, like CMMI level so and so is a quality assurance or quality control of a process. ISO 9001 standard and so on is the quality assurance of a product. So when this testing started in the human world, maybe a dozen decades ago, 100 years ago and so on or more, when production started, right? And especially with electrical equipment like radios or transistors or any kind of device, right? They have transformers and all this electronics plugged into it. The quickest test that the assembly line could do is put that device like a transistor or a radio and so on, imagine this team, into the power, switch it on and smell for smoke. Alright, they used to actually smell if it's smoking and burning or not. If it is not burning or smoking, then they pass it to the next level. And that's how smoke test as a name came up. Let's test if it's smoking or it's fine. That was the initial level. And that we kind of transitioned or took it over into IT slowly, that smoke test is try to make sure that the main things are working. Now, will any of you forget this? Ever? If you get this in interview? Perfect. Great. So it is not about what we learned, team, or how much we learned. How did we learn it in such a way that it is so clear for us to go and explain? Now, I can always teach you, this is defect life cycle. This is how defects will come. But I am trying to teach you how do we arrive at understanding this in depth. So there's reproduction steps. And it's not even a test case here, going back to a topic. And there's a requirement, there's random testing that we got random, okay, to a defect, okay. Then we have test cases, more planned, so much hard work going to documenting, and that can do a defect also, correct? But where is the test case coming from? Where do test cases come from? How do we write test cases? That's the other thing that we have to master now. And this all will make so much sense, team, as we go along. Exactly. Thank you so much, audience. Requirements. A requirement of the application is translated into one or more test cases, and then that test case becomes a defect. Okay. Now look at this, team. If I found a defect, all right, who is to blame? It could be the business user. It could be the business analyst, business user or business owner. It could be the analyst. It could be the development. Maybe there are more roles in between. I'm not going in depth. It could be the tester itself, false error, and so on. Right? So we need to be able to trace that back to the source of the defect. Who is responsible for it? Now I want to know who caused this error. So if this defect is there and we give it to development team will the first duty of development team or any human being is to support themselves, team. Anyone, you have to support yourself. If you don't support yourself and stand by yourself, no one will ever do. It's not trying to be bully and so on, but you have to, that's your duty. You have to support yourself. So how do you blame? Developer will easily say, I never got the requirement. Or you have such a trouble that it's random testing, it's not test case related. Then your test manager and the development manager will ask, so your testing development manager will ask, so your testing team has no clue of what they're testing, is it? So they know random testing. So no process, nothing. So this is like a, big no-no. Oh, no, random testing. What is this? Smoke testing we'll do later, not right now. Do more functional testing, regression testing, be more process oriented. The development manager and QA management will have immense amount of fights on this. There's always a pushback. So it's very simple, team. You can be a police officer, you can be a cop, but if you don't follow the protocol and log the case, FIR and so on in the right way, you will get questioned because the press, the media, the lawyers are waiting for that one small loophole to talk about it. We need to trace everything back, and that's called your traceability matrix. How can we trace things back to the main source? Where did it start? Was it the developer who made that error after understanding, or the BA did not translate the requirements correctly into the functional requirements specification document, or the business owner himself or herself never gave the requirement correctly? Someone has to take responsibility and blame, team. If none of them take responsibility and blame, then it will come back to you saying invalid error. So now comes the status of the error. All right. Status is not just identified, fixed. So here's how it is. There are many status. There's no fixed one for it, that this is the only thing. It is one, you can identify a defect, then you can log defect, then before you send a defect, let's say you work in a team of 10 people, one QA lead, 9 QA associates, quality engineers. What will we say? You want to assign it to development team, correct? But before that, when you know this, you're at war, what will you do, team? You'll first check it, right? Peer review, perfect. Yes, Simon, that's perfect. Reproduction steps, that's already there. We don't need more. We need to verify it. So we will verify with QA team first. Is the QA team management agreeing to it? We're kind of validating the bug. Then we assign to dev team. Now what will dev team do? It will look at and say, unable to reproduce, or they accept the defect. All right, one of those two things, or they'll say invalid requirement. Okay, now depending on this, then it is fixed by def or it is ignored by def. And what I'm writing, team, is nothing standard terms in the industry, more English. The meaning is more critical for us. Okay, 7, what do you do? So development has saw it and fixed it. If it is fixed, what do we do? Or yeah, fixed by dev, ignored by dev, or rejected by dev. They'll reject, saying, not a defect, because they're not fix it or whatever. Then retest by QA. After that, what will happen, team? You can close it, or exactly close or reopen. Phew. Now you understand that software testing is not an easy job. It's got a lot of dependency on so many people. What does it mean? And this is something no one has really given it a thought, team. QA engineer, and if we call us QA engineers, okay? Communication is key. Not that I need amazing communication skill like our ex-president Obama has or Modi has. Not that we are such a charismatic leader that we can speak, but it is very clearly communicate. How? In what? In emails, in documentation, in our explanations, and so on. You need this team. Yes, great, well said, Bella. Cover yourself or protect yourself. How do we do this, team? You have to link every defect to a test case or a requirement. Very critical. If you don't do that, then there's always a problem. And you look at this folder here. We have two files here, right? Executed by KKK 728, executed by KKK 734. What does that mean? Time, yes, but you do it on different runs. You're talking about runs. You need the reproduction. You need screenshots, steps, videos if possible, 30 seconds videos on how we arrived. And you need also, what did I want to say? I forgot you. Run version. What is run version? This was as part of regression test run number so and so, and requirement number. So it starts with requirements and everything should be documented. There's a requirement number, then there's a test case number, then there's a defect number. What is traceability matrix now? At any time, I should be able to go back, look at defects and trace it back. If the defect is here, team, test case, who is to blame? Who is to blame? If we realize that test case was not written correctly, us, right? The QA engineer is absolutely supposed to be blamed. So that is number one. No, it should be correct. Perfect test case. If the defect is not properly logged, who is to blame? Again, the QA engineer or QA team. If requirement is not correct, who is to blame? There's always a blame game. That's why it's very politically heated. When they say that a lot of politics in this company and so on, it is not because people humanly intentionally want to do it. We were not born with it. We were survivors. We were hunters and farmers. We had our own space. But when we started to collide with each other, we were trying to decide whose space is what is right and not. And that is where it will continue to happen, team. The more well you document everything and you put everything in the right shape, that is how it is, team. 4, you need very strongly to build relationships. How do we build relationships, team? How do relationships happen? It's like a love marriage versus an arranged marriage. It can be forced upon you, or it could be something that you chose, but still there can be issues, right? Communication, correct? How else? Believe me, this is so critical. You will not really imagine that there's so much depth to all this. Understanding, yeah, adjusting, and it's very simple. You talk about from a family perspective, everything will come across. Teamwork, okay. Trying to be a superhero, not trying to be right and a hero each time. What do I mean? When you know that the defect is, for example, accepted by the development team, okay? It does not mean that you go and stand in front of them and start jumping. Yes, 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 you're wrong, I'm right. We cannot do that. Will we do that with a spouse? We can never do that. You have to really be very diplomatic about it. You need to be very patient, very soft spoken and aggression in a controlled manner. And most importantly, you need to build trust. For a QA engineer, all these are very important. The one who can do all of this is the right, well recognized. If you're a great automation engineer and you don't do all this, I will guarantee your job is only for a few weeks or maximum few months. Alright? It doesn't matter if you're superhuman. You have to work among so many different roles and responsibilities, and these are just few of them. You interact across with everyone. The QA engineers are one of those teams have like a 360-degree interaction. And in an agile world, you're not just talking to your QA peers or management. You're also talking to the delivery head, development head, the IT head, the CEOs. You have a lot of people observing you, and you balance this correctly, you will do very well. Okay. Now, what is traceability matrix? To be able to find out a defect and get it back to where it originated from anytime. Alright, that is traceability matrix. You're able to trace it back to something. And there's a template for traceability matrix also that I don't have it ready, but you will be able to figure it. So ideally, you should also have one column called defect ID. And maybe you should also say this defect is part of which test case ID. If you don't have a test case ID to link it, then it's like not a very planned testing, it was random testing. So this sheet and this sheet should be able to link. I did this, I found an issue here and I'm logging it here. Now you tell me, team, will you send a random email to learn@itlearn.com that InterAFT is not working? Yes or no? Alright. So I let you all go through the pain. Why? Your intent. What is the intent, team? What is the main goal? Main goal of anyone in the IT organization, especially the QA, is to get an awesome product out. Okay. Now, if you log a valid defect and it's not linked to a test case, or it does not have all the reproduction steps in the right way, then the developer has the right to say the QA engineer did not follow process and the protocol. I don't think I have time to follow up that. You tell me, dear delivery manager, if I need to do that, or do you want to fix your QA manager should fix the process and then come back. Alright, so if you don't have a test case, then you need very clear reproduction steps. If you have a test case, I don't need all this. Okay, we don't need all this if you have a test case. Now, what I will do is this, very simple. I'll create I have a folder here and I have InterAFT. I'll create an open sheet in this and I'll call it. And anyone there from the Atomic 77 QA team in this call? Only those who are there from that team, please answer. Defect logs. So all this is there. I'm not saying write the test cases, because if you start writing test cases, it'll take a lot of time. All right, that's fine. But I want this information filled. And each of you, if you find a defect, you tell me like this. And this is not necessarily all the columns. There can be a couple of more columns that can be added. So this should be shareable. Get shareable link. Link sharing on. Copy. And in the chat. Now some kind of a method to it. So take the link and start putting it there. So now I don't need to explain anymore what is defects, why are they important, how should we follow the protocol and so on. Yes, everyone? So we've covered the defect life cycle. Almost, not that it's 100% done, but once you get the main concept, it's easy. How it starts, who logs the defects, how it comes back, how it can be reopened or rejected, how do we need to maintain the right protocol and relationship, and this is very important. Okay, now what else is there? Certification methodology, scorecard. This I'll take one more day, team. I'll do it over the weekend. I'll show you. I have some ideas, but I've not really put it. I wanted to go to the next topics out here. I'll talk about this in maybe before the end of the session. But what did I want out here? Understanding defects. Yes. Okay. So should we go and get on to this? Selenium Id basics, element identification. What is Java, JUnit, Selenium WebDriver? Let's get on to that. Okay. So in fact, to learn anything, there is an absolute deep meaning. Now tell me, team, what are the thumb rules of automation? What is ERA? In one message, don't put one after the other. Everything in one chat message. E, R, A. If I need to do that, I need this first. Perfect. Thank you so much for following instructions and doing it. See, it's so nice, brilliant. When we have I say something and you're able to listen and do it accordingly, that's great. Perfect. Efficiency, reusability, accuracy. Efficiency, that it is more efficient than manual process. It will use lesser resources and it will cost us lesser over a period of time. Reusability, that once we build, we can keep repeating it with very minimal changes. Accuracy, at the end of it, if I cannot trust the automation tool to do something and it will fail more than a manual test, then it can be easily taken away. All right. Now, Selenium. What is Selenium, team? Very simple. The first best way to look at Selenium is go to seleniumhq.org. This is the one. Okay, and here is the conference that I'm going to. Let me quickly tell you what I'm doing here, team, so you all have an idea. It's Eventbrite. It's there here, or you can also go from anyone from Austin, Texas. seleniumconf.com. Okay, it's there in Google. I think it's a good time for me to explain. Wow, there are like 4 or 5 of you from Austin, Texas. Great. Alrighty, so April 3rd to 5th, there's a conference for Selenium users in Texas, Austin. Alright, so the speakers, sponsors and so on. I actually wanted to be a speaker in the one which happened in London last year. Unfortunately, I could not get enough time to apply up front, and even this time, again I was late. But what I did, is I booked a booth in there. There's got to be about 10 booths, and one of the booths I've taken. So it's a lot of money, but I'm going to talk about Enion, I will talk about IT Learn, and I'll talk about Verkasa Inc., the overall vision of the company. So if you or someone is planning to be there, then you should definitely try and visit me in the booth. I will share more details for you, what's going to happen. So that should be really exciting and interesting. Okay, so that was the side thing that I thought I'll tell you quickly. All right, so seleniumhq.org. Is Selenium has a license fee? No, great, it's open source. What does that mean? So who created and why should someone earn money out of it? Why will someone create it randomly and put it? It's more like a community team of open source users and what they call as contributors. So a lot of people across the world are contributing towards Selenium. So very simple. The concept of Selenium, let me explain with the diagram what it does. So Selenium is primarily saying that it's a tool or a platform. Okay. If a user has to perform something on a web application, they can do it on Selenium, and Selenium will in turn perform those actions on the browsers. And it will do it on multiple browsers. It can do it on Chrome, it can do it on Safari, on IE, on Firefox, Opera, and so on. And then they said that we want to make Selenium stronger. They came up with two things. One is Selenium Ide, which is like a very simple record and run. And also they come up with something called a Selenium WebDriver, which says for more advanced users. So for Selenium Ide, it's very simple. We do it like step 1, step 2, step 2 like English. It's more like English. Very straight, no complexities and so on. Selenium WebDriver, however, is advanced. Saying, you know what, write what you want, where you want. In Java, in C#, in PHP, Python, Ruby on Rails, and so on. So they said you can put Selenium WebDriver code towards anything. All right. So let's go take a look at what is the Selenium Ide, which is a starting section for anyone who wants to learn Selenium. How do we do that? Selenium Ide is like a plugin or an add-on only to Firefox. So this Selenium Ide, while Selenium can do cross-browser, the cross-browser is more through WebDriver. So cross-browser happens here, and then you can do parallel runs, and you can also do something called as a distributed network run over something called as grid. That is all there is to learn about Selenium. There's nothing more. Okay. But IDE is very simple. It works on Firefox only. This is a Firefox thing. But then they gave a easy transition to go from Selenium IDE to Selenium WebDriver. That is also existing. So how do you get Selenium IDE to start working? You need to get that plugin. I don't know where it is. If you go to seleniumhq.org, that is the main website. Everything will start from there. Anytime you have a problem, go to the mothership, and seleniumhq.org will be your mothership. Anything that you want should be here. It may not be in the best and easiest spoon-fed manner that you want, but it'll still be here. So here is Selenium IDE on the right. So you can click on this and it will tell you that what Selenium IDE does and all that. This is an old image team, very old. The UI has changed. What does mean? What does that mean? Like WhatsApp and so on that we find everywhere in the world, everything keeps changing. Even Selenium IDE changed. Now I think it looks much prettier, much better, but no one's really focused on that. Okay, so I go to Selenium Ide and it says is a Firefox plugin, records and runs, download latest release version from addons.mozilla.org. I can easily show you this for Selenium. For HP UFT, it's a little bit more complex. I can still show you how to download the free version. Okay, so now I'll say add to Firefox and say install. Restart now. So simple, right? And one of the comments that I get from my trainees usually is, Karthik, when you do it, it looks so easy and simple. But when I'm doing it, why do I face issues? I face challenges. I'm frustrated. And the answer I tell them is good. Go through the struggle. Because if there's a caterpillar, right, which before it becomes a butterfly, it goes in the cocoon. And if I try and break the shell, what will happen, team? The caterpillar is trying to break that cocoon in which it's there. What is it doing? Can anyone answer, team? What is it doing when it's trying to break out? Are you there? All right. It's trying to become a butterfly. I got one right answer from Sarada, Sujata. It's hibernating. Why should it struggle? Because it is building the wings and the muscles around it. So if you don't let that process happen and you break open the cocoon, you did a good job as per you. But that poor thing will never ever fly. You understood, team? So you still need to go through a struggle. Nature has created some kind of a beauty on it, so you have to go through that. Okay, let's see, where is Firefox? Why didn't it open? I think it did. Okay, where can I find it now? It says done, restarted Firefox. Looks like it's all done. And team, luckily, you know what? I'm going to meet a lot of these people in this conference. The original creators of Selenium. I met a few of them last week in San Francisco, and I'll continue to interact with them. It's very interesting, the direction with which I'm going and so on. It'll be on the bar, team. Somewhere here, you'll find this. There is Firebug. Either you see it here or just hit your Alt key. So the menu bar will come up. The bug is actually Firebug. That's different one. I'll show you. Even that we need to know. And Tools, Selenium Ide. Alright, so this is the beautiful thing called Selenium Ide. A great start to what you will see as a huge career in automation testing. Now look at this, I split my screen. Ide is on the left side, the browser is on the right side. First and foremost thing, never try to master everything at one time. Try and understand one piece after the other slowly. I'm going to give you the introduction to Selenium Ide, very critical to learn AACT, and you will continue to practice and evolve from it. Okay. Now, first thing, stop this, click on this. When I go on it, it says now recording. I'm going to click. It has stopped to record. What do you mean by record? Let's say I go to interaft.com/the app. Okay. Now, why is this UI changed, team? Why is it looking different from what we saw? Size, screens. These are the terms, team, terminologies that you need to know very, very well. Because someone will tell you the word and you're like, what does this word mean? What is the word? Why is it different here? And it's different like this. Not recording. It didn't execute a command. Resolution, no. Screen size, no. Mobile view, kind of close. So it is called, this website app is responsive. That is the keyword. Yes, Tulsi Prasad, you're right. It is responsive. As the user sees this in any kind of a screen size and dimension, it should change itself and adjust everything accordingly, so that the user does not have to keep scrolling and pushing to get to the right field. That's called responsiveness of a website application. Okay, very important keyword, because once you get into the project and say, oh, this page is not responsive, and you're like, oh my goodness, now I have to go back and actually Google and Wikipedia and find out what is responsiveness. Some of these are very important for you to know. Now, what Selenium Ide does, the first and foremost thing, is it has a feature called record and run. Whatever we do on a Firefox browser while the Selenium Ide is open, with this clicked in called click to record, and I do anything here, it will start to do two things team. One, I'll say Karthik at markasa.com. Tab, do you see something happening on the left side? Password, blah, 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 blah. Tab and login. Forget this. And it says login authentication failed. Now, oops, it went away. I want to verify that. And I'll stop this. And I'll say run this. Very fast. It gave some green things executed. I will slow down this run. Say, you're too fast. I want to see what are you doing exactly. And you run it again. So it'll do it one step at a time. So it has, what did it do, team? Can someone tell me? What is it that Selenium did? Recorded the activity. So basically, no, automation testing, no team. Not like that. You'd be very precise and clear. It learned. It was a great student. That's the first thing. Okay, it saw what we're doing and how. Now, what primarily are the two most important questions for automation? Two questions. Thumb rules I told you. But what are the two most important questions? What exactly and where? What should I do? And next one is where should I do? In this IDE, the command is what? Like open, type, click and wait. This is what? The target is what now? It is the where. This is where. And this is what? It's a great learner. It will look at what you're doing and store that. So it learned what did I do and where did I do that. Value is any additional info that is needed to perform the what. So this is like a value, any additional info. That is it. With this little information, the robot is ready. Now, command is very English-like. Anyone can easily look at it and understand what it is. But the target is a little bit more technical. When I say technical, you need to be smart. Because how many of you know self-driving cars, or you've never heard the word called self-driving car so far? Who has not heard about self-driving cars thing? Okay, Tesla, but I was surprised very pleasantly. I don't know why we're not knowing in other parts of the world. Anyone from Bay Area, and you can tell me what is the self-driving car in Bay Area? There you go. This is an amazing car. It looks kind of, I would say a little bit ugly, my perception, but it still is a popular car. It's called Waymo. There is no steering in this team. There's nothing inside. You just have like a tablet where you say, Where do you want to go? That is it. No steering in it. You just go sit inside the car, put the address of where you want to go, and it will go. And it is not a prototype. It is not tested, not testing zone. It is actually production. They're working for sure. Let's say Google Waymo interior. No, this is not Google Waymo. It looks more like this. See, there's nothing in front of them. Great, right? The trust and the design. This is not Waymo, this is Lexus. This is not. Yeah. This is what is the future of automation team. It is risky. See, but then without any risk, there's no human development team. We will never go above in our human lives if there's no risk involved. So look, if I view this image, there's nothing here. Just sit. Looks like they're pedals, but I don't think they're really that. So if this technology can trust what it should do, how easy it should be for just a simple web-based application to do this, right? So command is what you want to do. Target is where you want to do value. So target is what is called as element identification. And believe me team, when I say it, what you're learning about Selenium is like maybe 10%, I would say more like 7-8% of the actual Selenium and the core technology and so on. So there's a lot of it that you need to learn, because people have gone advanced. They're building Waymos, this Google self-driving cars or Teslas and so on. So if we need to catch up to that, there's a lot to do. Element identification is key to it. Anything that you see on a web page is called an element. So now where's the Firefox? Here. So what all do you see here team? You see a logo, which is an image. You see text, again text, a field where you can type, a button, a link, again text, another link, and background image. We also have title, URL, right? All of this are basically elements. So to identify element, we need to be smart. So there's a very simple way to do it. You need a tool called Firebug. Can everyone see my screen? I'm on a notepad now. Okay, cool. Everyone can see, that's good. So the next thing you need, so I told you how to get Selenium IDE. Now I'm showing you how to get the Firebug. So again, lovely, amazing open source tools team. Whenever question, go to your good friend called Google. Oops, sorry, Yahoo. Can't help it, guys. That's what a design can do. That's what features can do and a vision can do. Okay, so getfirebug.com. What is firebug.com team? What does this do? Very simple. It is actually a development tool. It is not really built for testers. Genuinely, developers use it day in, day out. Why? Sorry. All right. What is this? Isn't developed or maintained any longer? We invite you to use the Firefox DevTools instead with ship firebug.next. Wow, that's crazy, but I already have a Firebug. So can users, you go and see if you can install this on getfirebug.com. Put the link on the chat. Let me know if you're able to install it, because I already have it, so I don't have to worry about it. Who don't have it, try and go to this website and see if you're able to install. If not, I'm sure there are better tools. In fact, every browser these days comes with something called as the main thing called inspect or inspect element. Sorry team, I'm assuming the team is trying to. For me, it's no more medicines team, unfortunately. Thank you for your concern. It's more of a surgery that I'm pending, but because of some conferences and so on, I've just been pushing it. And I speak a lot on a daily basis, at least 12 hours. I'm constantly talking because I have teams, projects, works going on. I need to keep doing it. I've got same message as you've got. Okay, cool. So looks like most of you are able to do it or unable to do it. That's fine, not a problem. Tell me one thing, team. Let's go back to our InterAFT app. Okay, you will know right now how it is. Let's right click on enter your email. What do you see? You see undo, cut, copy, paste, delete, select, check spelling. You see inspect element? Yes, great. Do you see inspect element with Firebug? How many of you see inspect element with Firebug on your Firefox? And please stay in the same environment. Don't do it on Chrome or anywhere else. Do you all see inspect element with Firebug? That means Firebug is installed. If you don't see, try and install it. If you cannot install, that is fine. You can use inspect element. It's the same thing. What it does, understand this very, very clearly, team, is if I click on inspect element with Firebug, it is going to open up the HTML code and go to that specific section in the code that is returned for this one. So input ID user underscore login blah 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 blah, all this, and it says enter your email. Here's the text. I'll change, put your email here. What has happened, team, on the website? You see this? Believe me, you will love Selenium like anything. The tools, the technology, it comes with it, and this is the start of it. It's amazing the way when we can go forward. See the text change in the website, but did it change at your end? No. So this changed at my end. Why? Again, back to the drawing board and basics. And a lot of times I see individuals who don't have the fundamentals. That's why I said this is the fundamental training. Okay. Browser. Where is the browser located? On your local machine. That is my system, a user. Okay. What does a browser do? It can open a website. Where is a website located? Remotely, yes, on a server or a web server, or which is also called as cloud these days, if it is not on a local network. Correct? So when you open a website, what happens? Browser, you say open, browser says fetch, get the information, website gives the HTML page, and we can see it on the browser. Okay, so the HTML page is actually downloaded. It is downloaded onto your local machine, and whatever you change here, will it change in the remote server or cloud? No, out here. So this is ground level, this is on the cloud level. So this change that I did right now is at my end. So how will developers use this? They basically write HTML code with maybe PHP, HTML5, CSS, WordPress, AngularJS, Ajax, JavaScript, all this they use, correct? And then they look at the UI and say, you know what, this is not right. I need to change something. They change it here, they test it here, and then they publish it back onto the server, which is cloud. I'm telling you in a very layman, simple terms, team, how it works. Okay, they will write these websites in a different ID, but when they want to do some quick view and review and fix, then they do this. But as testers, why are we using it? Because the way Selenium identifies these specific elements is very critical, and they use this. So to identify elements, there are a few methods. It started with only 2 or 3 initially. Now it's come up with a lot of them. Can someone tell me if you know what are the different methods to identify elements? ID, name, class, CSS, XPath, link text, partial link text. Did I miss anything else? Index noting. DOM, not really, because I'm trying to keep it again simple. Title, images, no. I think these are the ones. Maybe I missed, and that's fine if I did. Now, quick question to everyone. Do you need to master this specific section to become an NEOT certified tester or to become a Selenium developer? Do you need to master? Yes or no? I'm saying master. Completely master it. Okay. When I ask a question and I get wrong answers, I feel somehow I have the sarcastic laugh inside me. Okay. I have something to say. If all of you agree with me, then I have nothing to say. Yes, you need to master. There is no question about it. There is no second thought to it. You need to master it. Do you need to master Java to become a great Selenium developer? No, and great answer, team. You don't need to master Java. You only need to learn that specific section of Java to become a great Selenium developer. You are not trying to become a Java developer. That is what you require. Okay? But this, there is no scope. You have to master it. Is it easy or hard to master this? Okay, great. I heard hard 1 or 2 times, very hard. I thought at least I'll get one answer saying, if Karthik will teach, it'll become easy. Alrighty. So this is what we will do in the next session, and we'll master it absolutely, but it'll come with practice. Now, Manoj, are you there? Ashna, anyone from my team? There are some amazing videos already there, and I would want you to watch those videos before you come back on Monday. It's free videos, element identification videos. I will have that sent. I will have that sent to you. So just watch the video. When you watch this video, team, don't try and watch it with a pen and a paper and pause and replay and rewind. Watch it like you watch a Netflix movie. Just get the concept, because I go slow. All right. So let's do that, and I will see you on Monday. And we'll go from there. The link, I'll have it emailed to you, team, mostly through InterAFT. I believe it's working. Just at least you get the emails. There are issues with some iOS users, not all of them, but otherwise emails you're getting. So that's it for today, team. Let me sign off then. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. We'll see you back next week. Thank you all. Take care. Bye now. Bye everyone. Thank you everyone.